Welcome to Natural Healing Ninjas. This is Laura Lee, and this is Juan. And I bet you can't guess what Juan does. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Woof woof. He's an expert. Would you consider yourself an expert in animals or just dogs in particular?
Yeah, in behavioral modification. Yeah.
Oh, well, I need that. Anyway, this is Juan. Can we ask you questions about dogs?
Of course. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here again with the crew. Love what you do, so I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
So, what was your history around dogs?
So I grew up around dogs ever since I was in Ecuador. I was born and raised in Ecuador until I moved to the States in the year 2000. I was about 16 years old. And the difference in dogs there are just, dogs are very, very different. You have to know animals there because they will attack you, or the dogs that are stray dogs, in South America, they're not like stray dogs here. Stray dogs here are usually really nice to people. Like, you don't really hear of like, I try to save this dog and they bit my face. But in South America you do. Like, they're pretty much like, stray dogs are like wild dogs.
Yeah.
And you'll see some of them, come up with incredible behaviors. Like, they'll just come up, they realize that there's trading going on to get a bread, so they'll just like pick up a stick and they bring it to you to see if that gets them a piece of you know what I mean? Like, just
Clever, sure.
I mean, like
street knowledge.
Yeah, street knowledge, exactly,
Yeah.
right. Or like, I go to this place because they throw away the food and that type of stuff. But anyway, so because of that upbringing, I was introduced to dogs really early, and like there was things like you have to be careful with. And behaviors of like, do this, don't do that, and that's where it started. Then it really, like, I've been kind of like on and off with dogs for years until I had my most recent dog. That's when it just really kicked in. It was during the pandemic, and I rescued her, and she was really difficult. She was a real nightmare.
Was he grateful?
And no, she's just like, a really independent dog, really intelligent, and a working nature. So that's like the worst case scenario when it comes to a dog,
right.
because they require a lot more than a regular dog. They need to work. They need to do, like, if you see like cattle dogs and herding dogs, you'll see them running through like fields, like sprinting for a long time and herding cattle all day. So they're really stubborn, and she has two really stubborn breeds. One of them is Catahoula, the other one is Husky. So
what's a Catahoula?
Catahoula is
Catahoula
is Louisiana's state dog, and it's also a herding dog, but they herd cattle.
Oh.
So like, they are known for really high spirit, and they will grab a bull. But like, if they're not moving, they will grab it by the nose and move it. So she's got a really strong spirit. So it was really difficult because I was just like, everything that has worked for other dogs, because I started working with dogs. It all started, I think I mentioned before, how it was just giving people free sessions and helping people out. And the next thing you know, then I started training, and then my dog came, and I was like, everything that works with every dog doesn't work with this dog. What's going on? So I went to get more training. I did sheep herding training. I did agility. I did a whole bunch of stuff under some of the best trainers in the East Coast. And then I just realized I got like just gradually better, exponentially better. And I was like, what happened? Okay, dealing with this troubled dog, you just push me to the next level. And that's when I got more serious about dog training.
Oh, wow. I have to ask you, what is the most asked question when you're helping to train a dog and the human?
Yeah, usually is, why is my dog not listening to me? That's like, why is my dog not listening to me? The other one is like, why is my dog barking? What not listening to you is because, like, dogs do things that work, So like, if your dog is like begging and putting your puppy eyes on the table, it's because they've gotten food from the table before.
Yeah, it's an indicator.
Yeah, if the dog is out there, like, a dog wouldn't be doing that if they've never gotten food from the table. because it makes no sense. They only do things that work. So if it's worked before, they're going to do it again.
So how do you break them after it worked for them?
So, for example, my dog gets food from the table, but you will never know because if she looks at me while I'm eating, she's not going to get anything. But if she's laying down, she might get something. So that's how you train them. You basically, if they're looking at you and drooling, whatever it is, you keep on eating, right? Until or you can help them go down and then take a couple of spoonfuls and then grab something and give it to them randomly.
So it's like a reward.
Yeah, like a reward for staying down. But that's also going to help make them come into that space because you're inviting that. So if you don't want to get rid of it completely, you just don't ever give food from the table. That's it. Or you show them a place command and tell them, hey, place, that means go into this little bed and you stay right there and you can't get out. And then you do a place while you're eating, and then you can throw rewards if you want to, or just wait until it's done, and then you come up and give them something,
So how do you get them in the place part?
So place is it's a luring situation. So you take a treat, you bring the dog to where the bed is, you have them go down, and then you just say place, and then give it to them. And then say break so they can get up, and then repeat it over again. Grab the treat, bring them up to the bed, put them on down, and then say place, good job, give them the treat, and then repeat.
Keep going.
And I have all these, if anybody's interested, you can go to my social media accounts, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Nextdoor. It's @Ancestral Companions. And you can see there's videos in there on how to do this. Because I just do tutorial videos for free for people. So if anybody wants to learn, just go over there. And I also do breakdowns of behaviors, dogs running, tackling the other dog. Does this look like good play or bad play? And kind of break things down, behaviors, things to do, not to do, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
My dog is not here right now because she's a teacher dog, and not everybody wants their dogs to be taught. If she sees a bad behavior, she'll call it out. She'll just go up to the dog and say, "Don't do that again."
Well, she did that. She did that with Star. And it was a great learning opportunity for both of us. For me as well.
Yeah, and again, she's. I have learned to trust her because I've worked with her for so long that at the beginning, when it first happened, I was like, "Whoa!" There's a lot of tonalities, and it looks, very aggressive. But when I check, she didn't bite. She was just holding the dog down, like, "Don't move." And then she's using her mouth, but not like biting. So after checking so many dogs, I'm like, okay, cool. She has a lot of control, So
you said that she couldn't put up with his lack of self-confidence. I think that's where your words were.
Yes.
And she was sensing that.
Yeah. So in the dog world, if you're feeling insecure, you're making us feel insecure too. So we don't like you. Right? If you're in the dog world, if you're upset, you're making us upset, so we don't like you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all communal energy.
So you got to stay grounded, centered all the time, even if they just did something that...
Well, I mean, if there's play, but a play, sometimes when it's high energy play, like a lot of high energy stuff, think about when you're a kid, right? You go in working, like, yeah, I want to play, I'm ready to play. And then you swing your arm and boom, you broke the vase, Like that's kind of...
sounds like my son's.
Yes. So because high energy, the possibilities for you to be a little bit more out of control, so you can make a mistake, and that mistake in the dog world gets corrected by other dogs, and it's like...
By other dogs.
Don't do that.
Chill out.
Yeah.
And then I noticed afterwards how she reacted to him. They were done.
Yeah. And then we mentioned how she corrected Star, and then afterwards, you were like, I don't know, we gotta separate. Like, let them say hello, and they were fine right after.
I love that. That's a nice hint that if they do get aggressive, that you can just divert and then bring them back together, and then they're good to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's scary when dogs are fighting.
Absolutely, and the best thing to do, honestly, if you ever had into a fight, you have a collar, right? If the dog has a flat collar, the ending of any fight, and this is today, there was a fight that I saw, you put your hand under it, you pick it up and twist it. So let's say this is the dog's neck. So there you go. So let's say this is the dog's neck. So what happens is there's a space here. So if I hold here, the dog can just get out of it sometimes. Yeah. So instead, you pull and you twist like this.
So it's a choker collar.
Exactly. So then it just turns into like a choking situation. You hold it there, and 99.9% of the dogs will stop. There's that 0.01 dog that is like I've encountered that dog once, and he was like, "No, you're gonna have to kill me." And then, and I held until the dog passed out. I let it go,
Really?
and then I grabbed the other dog that he was attacking, and I left. And when I was walking away, the dog got up. He's like, "What's going on?"
Whoa.
And then, so that's it. But that's the end
That's
of any
the
fight.
extreme, though.
Yeah, that's when your dog is not, like, if there's a dog is latched on, they're not letting go. You can try anything that you want. I have broken up hundreds of fights because I've primarily worked with aggressive dogs. And that's been every single time it works.
Yeah.
There's no, like, it didn't work this time, it didn't work every single time.
So you grab one dog?
The one that, usually in a fight, there's a dog that's already given up and it's just getting attacked. And then that's the one that you have to go grab. If they're both fighting, which it has happened, you have to do it to both. And it's hard. My dog attacked my dog, and then my dog just, when she gets hurt, like bleeding, then she goes feral mode. And she's like, I gotta defend myself or otherwise we're gonna die. So both dogs were on, so I just turned them, and then they stopped fighting. One of them turned around and bit me, but I was just like, I'm still not gonna let go. And I was just bleeding.
That's brave.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Laura Lee, what do you have? You said you have Stellar right here,
Yes.
and she lives on a ranch with you.
Yeah.
She, if I had a couple questions for you, it would be when she's in the car and she's in her crate and she barks like crazy, and especially dogs going by, and she won't let her. I don't want to yell at her or anything or hit the cage, but
Sure.
Is that normal for dogs to be barking at people when they're walking by a car?
no, dogs especially.
Dogs do have, like, depending on the breed and depending on the dog, they do have the territorial thing of, like, this is my car, you're approaching the car. I don't have a problem with them barking,
Right.
but I have a problem with, hey, thank you, and
Continue
then you're
barking.
not listening.
Right.
That's something else. So
Right.
it's okay to warn you. There's somebody in the front door.
Thank
Like,
you.
I don't know if you heard that story of, like, somebody whose house got broken into, and the thief comes in the house to open it up. As they were, like, opening it up, the dog goes, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and they close the door and they leave. And that person would have been inside their house if it wasn't for that dog.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I want my dog to bark, but when I say thank you, that's enough. That's done. Like, I want you to be quiet and be done with that. So as far as, like, you have your dog in a kennel, or if your dog is outside and is barking at people walking by or whatever, what are you usually doing? A lot of people, maybe not you, but some other people would be like, hey, that's enough, don't do it, be quiet, hey, come on, no, be nice, and all kinds of different things like that, right? So then that is just reinforcing your dog. Your dog doesn't listen to all of that, and they don't understand those words. They just know, like, oh, okay, you're talking to me, so that's good. Okay, so this is good, I guess. You want me to do that, so I'm going to do it
Because
more.
you're getting attention. They're getting
Exactly.
attention. Yeah.
So if a dog is barking, if a dog is scratching at the back door, you know, like, how do you stop that? So a dog is scratching the back door in the window, and they're pop, 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 pop. They usually take a break for a moment, and then they do it again, and then take a break. When they're taking a break, you open the door and you throw a treat and you close it. There you go, pop, 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 pop. They stop, wait like 3-5 seconds, you open the door, you throw a treat and you close it. They will stop, because what they're getting paid for is for stopping, not for scratching. So then they're like, I'm going to get paid again, so let me stop.
Okay.
Right, so when it's barking, if you, your dog is barking and you're like, hey, come on, I told you to, you just told your dog to continue. If you talk to them in any way, if you look at them, you're giving them reinforcement. If you hit the kennel, the crate is you're still reinforcing. If you let them out, you're heavily reinforcing them. You know, so because if a dog is barking inside of the crate, and then you're like, hey, stop it, and then you're like, open, okay, get out, then they just learn that they're gonna do it again. If somebody tells you, hey, if you tell me, hey, Juan, can I get $1 million? And I'm like, no. You're like, come on, please, no. And then you keep bothering me for 2 days, and then I give it to you. You're gonna do it again. That's somebody else.
Sure.
Yeah, like, you just got it. Just were asking
Give me
them,
3.
like, absolutely. I'm gonna do it again. So that works. So why not do it again? Yeah. So that's the, you know, the whole thing, right?
We'll stop here for a minute.
So we're going to go to part 2.